DMT World presents The Rambling Rabbit, and I am its host, HappyKB. Welcome to The Rambling Rabbit. It's me, HappyKB. Hey, it's been a minute. It's been a long minute, but yeah, I needed to take a break. I needed to just, everything in moderation, including moderation, and that is something that I needed to do. So I just put the mic down for a while, piled a whole bunch of stuff on my computer desk. So I couldn't even touch the computer, and I just stayed away for a little bit. In the meantime, this is The Rambling Rabbit. This is the episode 26, I believe. I can't believe I've done 26 episodes, and we're still going, but here we are, enjoying every bit of it. If you are new to the podcast, I'm HappyKB. I am the host of the DMT World's podcast. I am also an admin and part owner of DMT World. So if this is your first time listening, or if you've never been to DMT World, please check us out. You can go to the website, which is www.dmtworld.net, and all you have to do, it's free. You just have to have an email and a username, and we really do prefer to have some sort of profile picture, and it doesn't even have to be your profile picture. It can be anything. It can be whatever, but come and join us, check us out, and see what we're doing there. We're one of the largest psychedelic communities that is out there on the internet right now, and I think we have about 36,000 people that are members, and people come and go. We've got lots of people who've been there from the beginning. We're always getting new people coming in, and then we get the people that they come in for a while, they go off and live some lives, and then they come back and tell us all about it. And so it's a pretty cool place if you've never been there. Again, our website is www.dmtworld.net. You also can get on your little nifty phones or your iPads or your whatever device you decide to use. You can get on the App Store. Apple and Android both have DMT World app that we have in there. So if you don't want to use the desktop, you can use the mobile desktop as well if that's what you prefer to do. Or you can use the app, either or. I will let you know there is a little difference between the app and the mobile / regular desktop. The mobile does not have a messaging system on it. When we first started, the mainframe in the beginning was kind of shaky and wonky, and so we had to deactivate the messenger system on the app because it would crash the app all the time. That's what happens when you first start out and you're trying to do everything on donation base. People donating for a good cause, because DMT World is solely ran by a handful of us, and to get upgrades and stuff, that takes a little bit of money at times. So we do have a way for you to donate, and I'll talk about that later. But what I was saying is we don't have a messenger system on there in order to message on the app. Actually, on the website, you either can use your mobile desktop and use our mobile site that way, and you have access to the messenger system. Just so people know, that's one of the first questions that gets asked, is if there's a way to message. Well, there is, but you have to actually be on the website to do it. So other than that, I will let you know we have a Discord. We have a DMT World Discord that you can go and you can search in the Discord and find it and join it. That's another way that we can communicate in real time with each other, and we have a lot of stuff and a lot of fun stuff that goes on in there. We do some dance party stuff with DJ Clap. Sometimes we have the round circle talks. We haven't done those for a while. We might kick those back up when winter comes, because we're all going to be stuck in our houses, so we're going to sit around and chit chat with each other. So it's really strange being back behind this computer and this mic, because it's not that I feel out of touch. I just kind of like, okay, what am I going to talk to these people? It's been a minute. It's been a long minute. So, first thing I'm going to talk to you about is that last episode with Not My Real Head. I always want to say Not My Real Redhead. I don't know why that's been always stuck in my head, but That was a really good episode. I went back and listened to that. That had me laughing the whole time. So, kind of a crazy guy. I will say that we are going to continue doing interviews with people. I just have to sit down and get back into scheduling myself out and get in contact with people. But if you are a person who would like to be on the Rambling Rabbit and be a guest, I'd love to have you. You can send me a message. Either you can email me at kb@dmtworld.net. You can find me under HappyKB on Discord. You can find me on DMT World. Again, my name is HappyKB. It's there as well. You can just shoot me a message and say, hey, get a hold of me. Those are most surefire ways to get a hold of me to say, hey, I'd like to be a guest on the podcast. I am going to bring some of the people we have already talked to back up and see what they've been doing, because it's always fun to see what kind of adventure or how we've evolved. Amanaro is one that I'm going to have back come on. He's had quite the journey. He works with a ketamine treatment and some other things that he's been doing, and it's really cool to know somebody who's in this field of the things that I'm not sure about how they're going, and I trust him. We've talked quite a bit. He's very knowledgeable, and I think I like the approach that he is going with this. So I'd like to sit back down with him and talk with him and see where he's gone and how close we are to what his dream is. So it's really cool. He has a new addition to his family too, I found out. So I'm really eager to sit down and talk with him. So I hope we can get him up in the next couple episodes or not. Let's see. This obviously is a solo episode, so you're going to get to hear me ramble. So I was talking about if you are wanting to help out with donations to DMT World because you believe in the site, you believe in the people, you believe in the community, because I do. I think it's worth my time and it's worth my while, and I myself am a donor. You can go to our patreon.com/DMT World, and there are two options that you can donate. Well, there's actually three. One option is to be just a merchant. We have a marketplace that people use. You can donate $5 and you can become a merchant. You can sell out of the marketplace, or you can join for $8, and that's a membership, and that gets you access to the Psychonaut only channels in our Discord. That gives you the ability to create groups in the website. It also allows you to also be a merchant if you'd like to. We have a necklace and some stickers that we send out to people for donating. So these are, and there's some other perks that I'm going to put together for everybody who is a donor. It's very helpful. It's how we keep the lights on. It's how we keep it going. It's how we pay for some of the other things, fun things we've gotten to do. So keeping the upgrade on the website is the most important, because there's always new stuff coming out. So if you believe in what we're doing, please help us out and become a member and support DMT World. You can go again to our patreon.com, DMT World. One tier is $5. That's just the merchant tier. The Psychonaut status is an $8 donation. There is an option on there when you get into the Patreon if you want to do just a donation, not for anything. You have some money to spare. I think there's a way to do that on there as well. So if not, get a hold of us. We can create something for you. But we really appreciate everybody that does donate. It's very helpful. It's kind. You guys are the battery. You guys are what funds it. You guys are what keeps DMT World alive. I'm just the one that pushes buttons. So I thank you. I thank you very much for being here, for the ones that have been here from the beginning, the ones that have come in the middle, and the people who are still joining. We really, really appreciate it. So with that being said, let me see, what else did I talk about? Donors, roundtable talks. Like I said, we used to do these roundtable talks in our Discord. Basically, we'd all, a bunch of us, get together on the first Friday of every month, about 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, hit or miss, in our Psychonaut voice only channel, and we would sit and we would chit chat. A lot of times we would throw out a topic, and that's what we'd sit and talk about, and then at the end of the meeting talk about, throw another topic out. That way it gives us some time to do some research, because not all of us are up on all that stuff. I'm not. I'm constantly reading, and I still feel like I'm far behind because it's moving so quickly. And there's, I don't know, it's interesting. It's really interesting to see what's transpired in 5 years since DMT World actually started. Because, like I said, if you don't know the history of DMT World, we started on Facebook. The actual group was under a different name, and it got shut down, and so the admins decided we had to talk that we needed to have our own place, and so dmtworld.net became our thing, and so we started building, and here we are 5 years later, and we're still up and running, and we still got people kicking ass and doing their things and teaching each other and spreading the love and doing all that neat stuff. All the music that's being created, or the art that's being created, all the friendships and the knowledge that's being shared. It's very important because some of this stuff is a mystery to people, and they sometimes don't know how to find it or get it, or they want to know or understand it. And I think DMT World is a very nice community. It's very non-threatening. I hope nobody comes in feeling like they can't say anything they want. The only rule that is in DMT World, for those of you that are new, is there is no illegal sourcing. That means by the United States federal law, if it is considered illegal, it is illegal on our website. That's how it has to be. It doesn't matter if your weed is legal in your state. Weed is not legal in my state. So therefore, across the board, it's not federally legal. So we can't have it. I mean, we can't be doing it. You can't be selling drugs on my site. Okay, that's all I gotta say. No trading, no nothing. You know, there are other places that we can do that, and that's perfectly fine. I am not a person who's like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. I just want to keep my place safe, and I know everybody that comes in there is very respectful of that because they want to keep that place safe too. We all know how to get a hold of each other. We can all shoot messages around it. We know how to do it. So thank you for that little spiel, KB. I'll get down off of my soapbox. It's not really I get worked up about that. I just want people to understand that the way that we've stayed afloat for 5 years and we haven't had any issues or any problems is because of that one simple rule. And you know, it amazes me. We get people that come in, and because of that one simple rule, they get really agitated and don't take the time to stay. And some of the exiting comments is that we're too strict. And it's just like, we will teach you how to. We'll instruct you how to. We'll share that knowledge. We're just not gonna we're just not gonna sell it to you. We're not gonna do it that way. So, learning. We need to learn. We need to share. Knowledge is free. Knowledge is free. So that's what we do in DMT World. We share knowledge and friendship and whatever. It's cold down here in my little rabbit cave. I'm not sure why. Because it's 81 degrees outside. Oh, excuse me. It's been a long week so far. It's Wednesday, folks. Okay, so I've been looking at some different stuff while I've been away, just kind of catching up on the news and what's going on in our little facilities. And first thing I'm going to open this with, this little part, is I have got a poem that was created today. And I did share it on the website, but I'm going to share it here. And it's called Blasting on DMT. I close my eyes, inhale the key, a sacred breath, the cosmic sea. Reality melts, dissolves away, as fractals dance in wild display. A rocket roars, I pierce the veil through a sacred realms where spirits sail. The stars bend close and they whisper near, in tones that only souls can hear. My body's gone and my mind untied. I soar through space, beyond the sky, 1,000 eyes and colors bright watch me glide through endless light. The walls of self break into flame, no time, no form, no earthly name. Pure energy, pure love, pure bliss. A cosmic kiss, the void's soft hiss. The ancient speaks in tongues unknown, their wisdom pours into my bones. I am the earth, the stars, the air, one with all and everywhere. Then, slowly, softly, I return. The lessons glow, the visions burn. I carry back the cosmic thread, alive, awake, though I am dead. For what I saw can't be unseen, a glimpse beyond the space between. And now I walk with open eyes, a part of me still in the skies. That's cool. I love it. I'm a big poetry. I love poetry. I love when people are writing poetry. I've met some great people on our website because they wrote poetry, and I'm got to talking to them about it. I love writing. I love everything that has to do with literature. I think words are beautiful. I'm not big on derogatory words. If you know me, you've ever talked to me, you know those are not my thing. I don't have problems with it. It doesn't offend me at all. I just don't choose to use it. We grew up not using profanity in my house just because that we just didn't. So I didn't grow up using it. We used it when we were kids and we weren't supposed to. You know, when you're hanging out with your friends and you guys are, you know, you're hanging out at the mall and something happens and all of a sudden you start saying things like, damn it, fuck you, or, you know, stuff like that. Middle school, you're sitting there flipping off your friends and stuff. Yeah. So, you know, I had those moments, but it doesn't flow out of my mouth very well unless I'm really, really, really mad. Unless the dragon wakes up and comes out. Sometimes profanity gets thrown there, but I'm not huge on profanity. I love the idea. I was a theater lit major when I went to college, and I love the ideas of beautiful language, beautiful words, eloquence. There are some amazing words that are out there that are just the encapsulation of what they actually can mean if used properly in a sentence is amazing, because words are vibration, vibration is frequency, frequency is universal language. So we don't speak in pretty words like we used to. We're now to the point where, because of technology, we are we're talk texting, we're using all major shortcuts, and so like language is something that I don't know. I like it. I like to use beautiful words. I like how descriptive words can be. One of my favorite words are the onomatopoeias. Those are the words that sound like they are, like crack. Sounds like a crack when it's cracking. Zipper, that's an onomatopoeia. Those are types of words that I really, really adore when I'm writing, because they give you the actual sound in the actual word, and so it gives you more ability to interpret or to visualize, to actually see what is being painted with these words in front of you. It's so beautiful. So so I like words. So one of the things I also said I was doing, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be yawning, I've cut out the energy drinks, so we'll see if I can build up some natural energy. Getting old, I need to lay off some stuff. So energies are the first to go. Energy drinks. I don't drink a lot of them. Like, I would have maybe one every other day. It was really bad at one point in time. We were drinking Monsters like they were going out of style. 1 or 2 a day. That was bad. I didn't ever let my kids drink energy drinks until they got into high school. And still, they don't. Well, my daughter drinks them a lot now, but that's because she's going from the time she gets up to the time she goes to bed. But my son's not real. I mean, he'll drink them, but he doesn't drink them as much since he had a seizure. So, energy drinks are out. But I do like my coffee, and I like my tea, so I get my caffeine somewhere. I was reading just trying to catch up what was going on in the psychedelic community, and pardon me, I was looking at some current news, and so as of August 2024, there have been some key developments in the world of psychedelics that are actually making headlines at this point in time. One of them says, and a lot of you probably might know this, but some of you may not know this, the FDA's rejection of the MDMA for PTSD treatment. They rejected it. The US FDA has recently rejected an application for MDMA-assisted therapy as therapy aimed at treating PTSD. This decision has temporarily slowed the momentum in the psychedelic medicine space. Despite the setback, many advocates and scientists remain hopeful that regulatory approval will eventually come as research continues to show the potential benefits of MDMA and other psychedelics for treating mental health conditions. That article that cited from Science Daily, and it's kind of crazy that we worked so hard. They did all these testings about the neurons and how the psychedelics affect them and how it's supposed to help and activate the certain areas in the brains and unlock those receptors. So when you deal with the PTSD, it alleviates it somehow. But yeah, they said nope. We want to reject this. So I'm not really certain. So much goes on in some of this stuff that trying to stay on top of the news that's going on, I get a little bogged down because there's just so much going on and some of the stuff doesn't make sense to me, I'll be honest. But yeah, that's something that's kind of a bummer because they've been working so hard on trying to get enough research to prove that MDMA actually would be a viable treatment source for PTSD. So that's too bad. There's a new research on psychedelics' effect on the neurons. This kind of ties into the MDMA. This is goes hand in hand. One of the testings when they were doing the PTSD with the MDMA was how it affects the neurons and what goes on with that. And so this one says groundbreaking research for the UC Davis has revealed a new method for tracking how psychedelics affect neurons within minutes of administration. This new approach provides insights into the rapid biochemical changes induced by psychedelics, helping researchers better understand how these substances can be harnessed for therapeutic use. That's great. I'm glad that we're now seeing these studies. I'm glad that we're finally in the day and age where we're like, okay, so yeah, let's see how these affect, why they're... Again, the parts that makes me kind of unnerved is where, that line says understands how these substances can be harnessed for therapeutic use. Well, if you listen to some of my other episodes, you know that me and therapy and some of the psychedelics, it's not my favorite because I don't know. I don't want to let go. I just want my individual rights. As long as I have my individual rights to utilize these medicines the way that I see fit, that I can control my own dosages, I can grow them myself, I can have all ample personal rights to them. I don't care what they do in the medical. But when you start regulating me and tell me that I can't do this stuff and I can't have access to this and you can't do that, I'm going to have a problem with it. I can coincide with the therapy use of it. Not a problem because I know that it does work. But when you get into other aspects of it, I get a little crazy because all I want is my individual rights. I don't want to be told what I can and can't do. I want to make the decisions, especially in the psychedelics, what I'm doing because I've put in my own personal time and personal research and things just like many of us in our communities have. And I tell you, some of this stuff just makes me a little nervous. I don't like to be told what I can and can't do, and I don't like to be controlled. So we'll see how that goes. This one was cool. I was reading about this earlier. You know me. I love LSD. In fact, I have a passionate love affair with it. It is by far my most favorite psychedelic. It's also what got me to DMT and everything that I know now of DMT world. So it's one night my child brought home some acid and said, "Here, Mom, I know you haven't tripped for a while." And that just changed everything, and it was amazing. So thank you, my dear son. So this headline was LSD fast-tracked for anxiety treatment, which is really kind of interesting because I'm not sure. I don't know. It says the FDA has fast-tracked the approval process for Mind Med's MM120, an LSD-based treatment for his anxiety disorders. This drug could offer a new hope for patients suffering from treatment-resistant anxiety, potentially becoming one of the new big advancements in the psychedelic medicine. Again, here you go. You're going to go messing with my stuff. I mean, it's at least it's a chemical base, and I mean, mushrooms. They want to synthesize them. Do the synthetics synthesize. That's another thing. They want to mass produce the synthetics, which I don't agree. Give them the natural, like at least LSD. We already know it's a chemical base, so they've been modifying different LSD things for centuries. But again, don't mess with my stuff. You take your stuff and go do your things, but don't limit my access to what I have. I mean, it's hard enough to get some of this stuff now because, well, it's not federally legal, and we still have to kind of underground market in certain places, and there are some places that are a little more lax. We're now seeing the stuff pop up in the smoke shops and the head shops and the gas stations. Some of the places where psychedelics are a little bit more acceptable law-wise. You're seeing some packaged things coming about. Be mindful, guys, when you're buying this stuff. Read what you're putting in your body. Understand what you're consuming. Know how much you're putting in. Dosage is a big thing. Harm reduction is the goal. Okay? Just be safe. Be smart. Understand that some of the stuff that's being manufactured is not good for you. Is not. Just make sure you're doing your stuff. On the same respect, when you're getting stuff from sources you're not sure of, make sure you're testing your stuff, please. That's important too. We want to make sure everybody gets to stay alive that next day. We want to make sure nobody gets sick off of any of the stuff that we're consuming. It's really, really hard nowadays. It's not like it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Like, it's changed. It's all changed. And so we just got to be careful. We got to look out for each other and make sure we're being smart. And that's what I'm going to say to that. So I have a GoFundMe. I haven't put it out yet. My computer kind of crashed to me at one point in time, and I have a video, the HappyKB's Caravan, when we went to Ann Arbor last year. And I'm going to try to get it finished, kicked together for at least posting it this September, because EthnoFest is coming up again in Ann Arbor, and I'm really sad that we can't make the trip this time. So we're going to try to get this video finished and get it up so you guys see what we did last time. But I do have this GoFundMe, and this GoFundMe is to help with KB's Caravan. It's a separate thing. I do this on my own. Basically, I find a place, and then me and my camera person hop on a train, and we take a train, and we go experience. That's what we do. So, I haven't been able to do another, actually, KB Caravan trip, just because, well, money gets a little hard, and, it's kind of tight right now. So, I've got some things in the works planned to do around here where I live. Show you some just different stuff, what I do, what's going on in my parts of the world. So I think that would be a good KB's Caravan. But if you're interested in helping me out with this GoFundMe, you want to donate to my cause, I will post the GoFundMe on my on the account, on the website, and at the bottom of this video it should be there too. So yeah. I was also looking at another thing, and it's trends. It was when I was looking at the stuff that was going on with the news and stuff. There are some crazy trends that are happening out there. First of all, back to what I was talking about, like utilizing my First Amendment rights and everything. The future of the psychedelic medicine it's challenging. With the regulatory approvals, the field of psychedelic medicine is on a really fast track towards legitimacy and acceptance. I do believe that is the purpose. Unfortunately, I just don't think people have the best intentions all the time, and I know there's a bunch of people out there that don't really care. And those are the people that I worry about. But as more studies are coming out and we're demonstrating the effectiveness of the substances like MDMA, like LSD, psilocybin, and we know that it in treating a range of the mental health conditions, and this is why we have our counselors, this is why we have people who are wanting to utilize this medicine, because this is going to be the future. We're hoping if we do this right. Fast tracking treatments and improving scientific tools to monitor the effects of the signs of the potential transformation. My thing that is hard enough for me is like, who gets to make these decisions? Like, who is those people? Who's going to be in charge and gets to make those decisions? That right there is why I want to make sure I have my individual rights. I want to make sure you all have your individual rights, because when we have our individual rights and we can say for our own, then those people shouldn't get to govern us. But that's my worry. Like, who's going to make those decisions, and are those decisions going to govern me? I just want my own right. So I try to be very hopeful for the future of the psychedelic medicine, because I understand that they do work in capacities. I myself have experienced it. We know with addiction it helps. We know with PTSD it does help. We know with anxiety it does help. We know all kinds of different things. It helps. And so I just want to make sure, again, I'm going to say it 100 million times, we need to make sure we all get our individual rights to these substances, because I think that's important. And I also still want to know who's going to make all those decisions. We got people from many worlds and walks of life. We have our indigenous people who've been using these medicines and these substances for so much longer than a lot of us have. Do they get to come to the table, and do they get to help with that? Like, I want to know that. And I know these are conversations that are happening in the psychedelic communities, in the fields and stuff. The thing when MAPS did the thing in Colorado, and the Native American gal came out in her beautiful dress and gave her speech, and these are things that we need to take in consideration, because it's important. We have to make sure we're protecting the plants that these substances come from. We need to make sure that we are doing this right. And in my heart, I feel that we are. But again, some of you are new to this, and so some of you don't know this. So that's my little spiel on that. Trends. There's a section in this magazine I was looking at, and it's exploring the latest trends in the psychedelic community. That's what the article is called. And it was interesting. Recent years, the psychedelic community has undergone a remarkable transformation, and it has, with just in the last 5 years. But for me, like, I can visually see it. It says, driven by a resurgence of interest in consciousness expanding substances and their potential therapeutic benefits, what was once regulated to the counterculture of the 1960s is now gaining mainstream attention with psychedelics in the forefront. That's cool. It's kind of maddening to me that it's taken that long. It's kind of maddening to me that I know back in the 60s that we had people who were doing all kinds of experimental work, and were doing a lot, and it got confiscated. And a lot of it, like Timothy Leary's stuff, got locked up. Our government has it locked up. Crazy. And now we're in 2024. 1960 was a long time ago. It's just kind of crazy. So what were they doing with our psychedelics that they didn't want us to have our hands on it? That's the things I wonder. MK Ultra was going on around those times, if you believe in any of that conspiracy stuff. And, we know that, mind control can happen with any sort of drug. But so, I don't know. Free your mind. Rest will follow. So take the drugs away. Don't let them explode their mind. Put them asleep. Yeah. So that's the thing. What was I saying? Says as we look at the most recent trends in the psychedelic space, we see a convergence of science, spirituality, and technology that is shaping the future for human consciousness. I can't say that very well, which is interesting. we know that therapy is one of the thing. It's gone mainstream. It's no longer, we're no longer going and doing some of this stuff in the shadows of the dark. You know, we no longer have to go to Peru to get our ayahuasca things. We're now, things are moving here. People here are going, we can do this too, because they oversaturated themselves going that way. So now they're gonna bring it here, and so we're gonna have all these retreats here, and we're gonna have all this stuff. And I mean, that's just how it's going, mapping the way for therapy. Like I said, I have friends who have a ketamine clinic, and they're doing very well and very positive. The things that he promotes and the things that they're doing, you can see they're helping people, and that's all that I really want to make sure is happening, is they're being helped. And I believe that there are people who have the best intentions, who've been through it. It's the other people I worry about, but that's here nor there. Another thing, microdosing is a big thing. I read an article not long ago. Silicon Valley. A lot of people in Silicon Valley, like it, microdosing is becoming a really interesting thing. It's gotten very popular. Professionals are microdosing. They say it's enhancing creativity, focus, mood. They're inspired. They can be. It's just puts them in a better emotional balance, cognitive enhancement. It's just, they're raving about it in Silicon Valley for self-improvement, which, okay, sounds good. I'm fascinating. I'm fascinated with microdosing because I have been reading a lot of places, even though it's in clinical and they're utilizing it for mood enhancement. I read this article about some of the people were utilizing it. They were utilizing as a tool for optimizing performance and fostering personal growth, without the full hallucinogenic dose. But what they get in those microdoses is stimulating and keeping them stimulated in these other aspects. And I think that's fascinating, because that's why that's what I like about microdosing, is the way that it gives me, I don't know, when I'm really lacking inspiration, I'll do about a month regimen of microdosing, to kick up my everything I need to start creating, because mushrooms help me create. Let's see, what else? Integrating coaching. That's a big rise. There was a big rise in education in certain colleges, where the people are trying to get their degrees and get what they can in the integrating coaching program, which that's great. I think that's great. I don't know how I feel about that. It would be hard for me to go to somebody I didn't know. It would be hard for me to go to somebody I didn't know had a actual experience, which I'm not as open in those I have to be with somebody. Energy's a thing, especially when I'm on a trip. Energy is a thing, and you got to be the right. My daughter can't even be in the room with me when I'm on a mushroom trip, because any little sensitive thing sets me off. And so, like, I don't know. I don't know about the integrating coaching. I think it would be a good thing. I'm sure there's people out there that would benefit from that, but this article said that it sees, as more people are engaged in the psychedelics for therapy, a personal growth purpose, there's a need for proper integration. So because we're now deciding to use psychedelics in the therapy treatments, we are also having to create this integration coaching. And so it's kind of going hand in hand there, isn't it? We create this, so we got to create this, because you can't just throw a psychedelic on somebody and be like, okay, good luck. Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about all of that. I mean, it's going to be a necessity because this is the path we're going, but I'm a solo tripper anyways, so, and I've been tripping for a long time. I have two really great kids that when I need help, when I've tripped and stuff, they are really good. They know how to sit down with me and we can, work it through. And so I know it's something people can do, but I don't, it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, so that's a hot thing that's in the trends right now. Lots of people trying to get degrees for integrating coaching and psychedelic work. So power to the people. La la. Tech. There's a big boom with tech and psychedelics. This one was talking about another fascinating trend in the psychedelic space is intersection of technology and consciousness exploring. Well, okay. And it says psychedelic tech encompasses a range of innovations from virtual reality, which is VR platform. We had an episode where I talked to T-Rex, and we talked about the VR, and we talked about AI, and he is really big into VR. He was building Shulgin's lab. I'm pretty sure that's what he was working on in VR, with the help of AI, which I think is fascinating. Like, if we use these tools, you can create all kinds of stuff. So yeah, like technology and psychedelics, they're trying to do some things to mimic psychedelics experience, to help, like, mood changing. It's a new thing. It's kind of an old concept, I think, with light therapy. But now with our VRs, and they can actually create the stuff. Like, if you, like, good example, the Sphere in Las Vegas. If anybody's been to the Sphere, I didn't go. I'm not sure I can actually sit in there, especially in a Grateful the Dead concert, because motion sickness is kind of a thing as I'm getting older, and to be surrounded in tripping would, I don't know, make me feel kind of claustrophobic. I want to be out under the stars. But I thought the concept's cool, and how they could create all the, like, the visual, like the tripping sensation, and like it's cool. Like, technology is cool. It scares the crap out of me, but it's pretty cool. Interesting. This says companies are now creating VR tools that replicate the visual and sensory effects of psychedelics, henceforth the Sphere. Also, allowing individuals to explore altered states without ingesting substances. I want to ingest a substance, though. In parallel, psychedelic assisted therapy apps are providing tools for self-guidance, breathwork, meditation, and journaling, further bridging the gap between traditional wellness practices and modern technology. Well, in my opinion, is we should have been pushing breath work, meditation, and journaling anyways, even if we didn't have the psychedelic tech that was going along with it. But whatever. It's whatever. Another thing that is a trending right now is decriminalization and legalization efforts. It's moved so quickly. When we first starting to see it happen, Colorado was our big one, and then California, and then watching all the others kind of just follow suit. It's 2024 has been marked by the continued progress in the movement to decriminalize and legalize psychedelics. Following the groundbreaking victories in cities like Denver, Oakland, Washington, D.C., where plant medicines like psilocybin were decriminalized, states such as Oregon and Colorado have led the way establishing legal framework for psilocybin therapy. Other states have actively considered similar legislation. It's going to take a while. I mean, heck, I live in Kansas, and we can't even get weed legal here yet, so we barely got hemp legal, so some of us are gonna, I'll probably be dead by the time it's legal in Kansas, but that's where things are happening. We do know with decriminalization and legalization that it also follows suits with regulation. So just understand what's going on legally in your states. Know what your laws are. Know what you can and can't do. Other than that, we just sit back and hope that this is in the right hands. This article is talking, it says, these efforts reflect a growing recognition of the benefits of psychedelics in therapy and ceremonial contexts. At the same time, indigenous voices are gaining more visibility, advocating for ethical and sustainable approaches to the use of the sacred plant medicines such as ayahuasca, peyote, and iboga, because these people have this in their lives, like their communities, their ancestors. It is in the indigenous energy is them, and so they need to have a say. They need to have a say to help us, because people are ignorant, and when they get it in their head that they can do something and though the other people don't get to help, then that causes chaos and that causes problems. So also, I guess there's been a big boom in the revival of an indigenous wisdom and shamanic, I don't know, practices, which that's interesting. We got people going to Peru all the time. We got people going to Mexico all the time. We got people going all over Brazil, I guess that's Peru, all the time. South America all the time, going and seeking out this lifestyle and these people who can do these psychedelic works and help them. Just be careful. Be careful when you're going to these retreats and stuff, is all I have to say. No, make sure they have a good reputation. Make sure they haven't, just be careful. There's a lot of things that have gone on in some of the retreats and places, and always go with somebody too. Don't ever go to these things by yourself. Always go with somebody. Keep each other accountable for. So we've seen lots of art again coming into influence with the psychedelics, which is really cool. I always like the art. AI really has submerged itself into the psychedelic world, and a lot of people that are in the psychedelic world like to use it because it can create things that some of us have only seen in our trips. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of creepy. Some of the AI art kind of turns me off because I feel like it lacks human. But I've seen some really cool stuff that's been created, so that's cool. So yeah, we're in full swing with the psychedelic renaissance per se. We're still moving, going forward. Sometimes it's not as exciting because it's not new anymore. It's not breaking news. We're just kind of in the middle of trying to figure. Well, we're in the middle of a presidential year, so I don't know if we're going to see much about psychedelics except things like FDA said no. We're going to say no, which this is part of my feeling I've got we're going to see another turnabout on. We're going to see a lot of, negativity when it comes to talking about the psychedelics. And I don't know why I say that, but that's kind of a feeling I've got. I don't feel like the love's there like it was at one point in time when we were seeing everything starting to hit mainstream. I don't feel people are as excited about psychedelics. There's not this mad rush to, I don't know. Even with our dealers. Of course, I think everybody went to Telegraph, is that Telegraph? Is that what it's called? And, doing it that way, that, I don't know, it's just really strange to watch how the buyers stuff transpires and where they go and who you can trust and who you can't trust. And just make sure you're testing your stuff, guys. Know where it's coming from. Other than that, that's the trends that they were saying that's happening right now. So that's kind of interesting. Some cool stuff, I guess. Hey, I found some haikus. I'm going to share these haikus with you. I don't know if you know what a haiku is. A haiku is a poem. It is a... Oops. One of the things we did in our creative writing class was we kept a haiku journal. Every day you sit down and you write a haiku. And the reasoning we did this is because, well, one, it was a writing class. Two, a haiku is a Japanese poetic form, and it consists of 3 lines. The 3 lines has 5 with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. So you have to be able to, and they don't have to rhyme, but they have to have these numbers in there. And so to sit down and to write a haiku every morning, it's kind of a brain train. It's a creative process. It's not very long. You just got to sit down and do it. So I've been trying to write some haikus that kind of go along with the DMT world, like the psychedelics and stuff. So I've got 3 here sitting in front of me that I'm going to read. This first one's titled Alan Watts. Wisdom like the sea, Alan laughs at life's deep game. Echoes of the now. So the second haiku is called God. Silent, endless light, breath of stars and all that is, God speaks in stillness. And the last one is called Life After Death. Beyond the soft veil, whispers of a distant dawn, life begins again. So those are my haikus that I have put together, and I hope you liked them. I hope they made you stop for a minute and, you go and write your own haikus. Again, let me tell you, it's a poetic form that consists of 3 lines. The first line has 5 syllables. The second line has 7, and the third has 5. So it's 575. So if you do write some haikus, post them on the site, and we'd like to read them and see what you guys are doing. So haikus. Let's see, where am I at? Okay, so at this point in time, I am going to it's the blah, 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 blah. See, rambles. This is the rabbit tail section, and I have a psychedelic short story called Divine Magical Teaching. And at this point in time, this is what I'm going to play, and I hope you enjoy it. Divine Magical Teachings. It was late evening, and the air outside hummed with the quiet promise of mystery. I'd heard her whispers of her. A wise woman who lived at the edge of the forest, steeped in ancient knowledge and forgotten magic. When I finally found the courage to visit, I followed a winding path that led to her cottage, nestled among trees that seemed older than time itself. Her door was already opened when I arrived, as if she had been expecting me. Inside, the room was filled with the secret of sage and cedar. Candles flickered in the corners, casting shadows that danced along the walls. She sat by a small fire, her long silver hair draped over her shoulders, her eyes deep pools of knowing, her presence radiant serenity and strength, as if the earth itself had come alive within her. Come, she said, her voice soft yet powerful. You seek something more, don't you? I nodded, feeling both small and eager in her presence. Without another word, she reached for a beautifully carved wooden box. Inside, nestled on a soft velvet, lay a small glass pipe, intricate and delicate. Beside it, a little pile of yellow crystalline DMT, like tiny fragments of a sawdust waiting to unlock a hidden door. I will guide you, she said, lightening with the herbs that sat smoldering in a bowl next to her. But remember, this journey is yours alone. I'm only here to help you find the way. With that, she handed me the pipe and instructed me to take 3 deep breaths before inhaling the smoke. The first breath filled me with warmth, the second with lightness, and by the third, reality seemed to shimmer and crack at the edges. As I exhaled, the room around me dissolved, and I felt myself falling into a void of infinite depth. But it was not dark. I was alive with color beyond imagination, swirling and flowing like rivers of light. I was moving fast and yet peacefully through tunnels of pulsating geometric patterns that seemed to hum with an ancient intelligence. I felt her presence beside me, not as a physical being, but as a thread of consciousness guiding me through the currents of this new dimension. We emerged into an otherworldly landscape, a vast garden that stretched out endlessly, where the flowers glowed with the ethereal light and the trees whispered ancient secrets. In the center of the garden stood a magnificent tree, its trunk wide and twisted, its branches reaching up towards the heavens. The wise woman appeared beside it, her form now shifting and luminous, her silver hair glistening like threads of starlight. "You are here," she said, smiling gently. "This is the heart of the cosmic garden, the place where all truths converge." As she spoke, I felt a powerful energy pulse through the air, like the heartbeat of the universe itself. The tree before us began to shimmer, and from its bark emerged figures of light, spirits, ancient beings of wisdom who carried the knowledge of all things. They circled us, speaking in a language of symbols and emotions, not words. The woman extended her hand towards me, and as I took it, I felt a deep connection to the garden, the tree, the spirits, and her. We were all a part of the same web of life, interwoven and inseparable. "What do you wish to know?" she asked, her voice resonating like a bell. I hesitated, overwhelmed by the enormity of the moment. But then, the question came to me, clear as day. How do I live in harmony with the universe? She smiled, and the spirit seemed to hum with approval. The answer came not in words, but in a wave of understanding that washed over me. I felt the rhythm of nature, the ebb and flow of life, the interconnectedness of all beings. I understood that living in harmony wasn't about doing something. It was about being something. It was about aligning with the natural flow of the universe, embracing love, compassion, and a presence in every moment. "You already know," she whispered, as if reading my thoughts. "You just needed to remember." And with that, the garden began to dissolve. The wise woman's form faded, her final words echoing in my mind. "Carry this wisdom with you, and it will always guide you." I felt myself being pulled back, the colors and patterns fading, until I was once again seated in the floor of her cottage. The fire still crackling softly and the candles still flickering in the dim light. But something had changed within me. I felt lighter, clearer, like a veil had been lifted from my eyes. The wise woman smiled at me, her gaze knowing and kind. "The journey has only just begun," she said softly. I thanked her, my heart full of gratitude, and as I stepped outside, the forest around me seemed more alive than it ever before. The trees whispered their secrets, the stars twinkled with a newfound brilliance, and the night air was thick with magic. I walked away with a deep sense of peace, knowing that I had been given a gift far greater than the words could ever describe. An eternal connection to the wisdom of the universe, unlocked by the guidance of a wise and magical woman. So I hope you liked that. That was fun to do. I have several more of those that I put together that I'm going to be putting in here. So let's see. Wow, we've made it to almost an hour. I just want to remind you that if this is the first time you've been to the podcast and you've not been to our website, please join us at www.dmtworld.net. If you'd like to fund my GoFundMe for the KB's Caravan, at the bottom of this video, or if you listen to the podcast, it's in the About section. There will be a link that goes to my GoFundMe. If you'd like to be a Patreon donor, that you can go to patreon.com/DMTworld. I will also put that link in there. I did not mention we do have a merchandise store. I'm constantly creating new stuff. I'm always putting new stuff in there from community members that do send me some things. Everything that does get sent in does... anything purchased of the design does go back into DMT World and helps with paying bills and doing the stuff that needs to do to keep the website running. So if you have a design that you don't mind giving up and want to donate it to DMT World and we can put it on some merchandise, you can send it to me either at my email, kb@dmtworld.net. You can send it to my Discord, HappyKB, or just try to get a hold of me and we can work something out. That merchandise store that I was talking about is you could go to spring.com because it's Teespring, and you can type in DMT World or DMT-World-2 creator and it'll come up. I'll also put this link at the bottom of this and this about me as well so you can get to that. We really appreciate people who do buy the merchandise and support and represent our community. I've seen it a couple times around and I am always shocked when I see it. So I will let you know. I am putting... There's some different stickers that are our designs that I am putting together in a sticker slap pack, like a sticker pack that will have some of our designs in there. And I will have those in the marketplace and we'll have them priced and you can get a hold of me and I'd be happy to sell you some of those sticker packs. That way you can represent DMT World and you have some of that flair. So that would be awesome. Excuse me. With that being said, folks, I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Rambling Rabbit. It's really nice to sit here and do this and feel like I've been gone for a little long, but a much needed time, and it's been really exciting seeing a bunch of new people come on the site. I see some of our old people, well, you're not old, but some of our patrons that have been around for a while. I see them pop up. I see you, even if you're not talking. Trust me, I see you and I appreciate it. So it's really nice. It's nice that we are a still active group. There are times throughout the year it gets a little quiet, but then we have an uptick and a bunch of people come in and we all get to work. And again, we do know like transition periods between the seasons sometimes affects people. Festival season is getting over. When we move into winter, sometimes we all get a little bit more active behind our computers and stuff. So, I have great faith that we will keep going and we will keep doing our thing. I really appreciate the people that have come back to the site that left for a while. It's nice to see you. It's nice to feel your energy back in the site. Your vibes are great, and I always appreciate every single one of you, especially when you get on that site and you engage, and it's great. So I appreciate you. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Rambling Rabbit, and keep ascending, friends.